Hello, 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 and
Hello, can you hear
welcome
me?
to another episode of the. We thank you all for joining us today. Moving along towards tonight, we have a lot of exciting theme park news and updates to talk about. And at any time during tonight's stream, you are more than welcome to stop us at any time for discussion. So let's get into it. So, first off, we have some very special guests joining us this evening. Um, Unfortunately, some guests are having some issues right now, and some will be joining us a little later. So, first, we have Tony O'Tower, our very own moderator, with us. Uh, Please tell our viewers where they can find you and any new content on the horizon.
Hello, everyone. I am Tony Otavo, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for. Let me back up. Thank you so much for hosting tonight, and I really appreciate being a guest. So hey everybody, if you're curious about where to find Tower of Terror trivia videos and everything related pertaining to the Hollywood Tower Hotel in Disney World, Florida, be sure to check out my Tony Old Tower account on YouTube, along with my Tony Old Tower Instagram, same username, but on Instagram it's underscore over Tony underscore O and also underscore Tower. And as a heads up, I realize that I do have a speech disability, which may make understanding me a little challenging. So if you ever have any questions, please let me know if you need me to repeat anything.
Thank you, Tony. Uh, and you can find us here on Amusement Park Pirates, right here on the tubes, as well as you can find us on Instagram. You can also follow us on X, or formerly known as Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky, um, and you can find us pretty much almost every day. We post shorts daily. We post weekly trivia on our community posts as well. You can also find us inside the parks every either Tuesday or no, not Tuesday, but Thursday or Friday. Um, and we also have Puddles here. Where did it go? Um, that's weird. I thought I saw Puddles. But anyways, you can follow us here on the tubes, and we'll be streaming tomorrow as well for Christmas at the Disneyland Resort. So it's going to be a very magical time indeed. So before we jump into today's conversations, we would also like to welcome everybody in. Uh, we have, let's see, we have Disney with Matthew, welcome in. We also have Fast Pass Radio, welcome in, Fast Pass, good to see you. Patrick Julian, welcome in. Murray's Adventures, hello there. Guys, please check out Disney with Matthew, as well as our friends over at Disneyland Paris, Murray's Adventures as well. Oh, and we have Puddles in the theme park. Welcome in. So please, if you can join and tell our viewers where they can find you and any new content on the horizon.
I can be found at Puddles at the Theme Park on YouTube. Sometimes I'm on Twitch, although not very often. No new content. I've been kind of a little under the weather as of late, and then I was going to go stream yesterday with everybody else, but the SoCal is an atmospheric river season. And so we have a big storm moving in. So probably sometime after the storm is when I'll probably be back in the parks because, yeah, this storm is supposed to be just absolutely crazy. So, but yeah, but I'm excited to get back in there, and yeah, hopefully you guys come join me in a future stream.
Sounds good, Puddles. We also have cruise and theme park guide Sierra. Welcome in. Another fellow streamer of ours over there in Orlando. All right, so let's get into things and let us review and go over the results from the Q4 2025 Disney earnings call that happened this morning and what it could mean for the future of the Walt Disney Company's 104th year. So there is an article. Let's see if I can find it first. Where did it go? Here it is. So here it is. All right, so this is from cinemablend.com, and this was updated 14 hours ago. So I'm just pretty much going to go over the highlights of what happened this morning. So as of 5:11 a.m. this morning, Disney's Q4 and fiscal year 2025 earnings statement has dropped, and it indicates a big year for both Disney Plus and Disney's theme parks. The parks saw a record operating income for both the year and the quarter, despite a small 1% decline in attendance at U.S. parks. Both things may only increase following the price increases of Disneyland and Walt Disney World saw in October. Disney Plus had its first full year of good business with $1.3 billion in operating income generated. That's also likely to increase due to a price increase for Disney Plus as well. We also have, let's see. It also says that Iger mentions that Lilo and Stitch, the second highest operating for a live-action movie on Disney Plus, alongside the highest grossing Hollywood movie of the year, merchandise has also been strong. Walt Disney Studios has crossed the $4 billion mark for the fourth consecutive year following the release of Predator Badlands. Iger lists off all the major Disney releases for the rest of the year in 2026, including Toy Story 5 and Avengers Doomsday. Iger then moves to TV. Apparently, Dancing with the Stars this season saw raising ratings increases for the first 6 weeks following its premiere, which is something that never has happened. He also calls out the Taylor Swift content coming to Disney Plus, which a trailer for that has just dropped earlier today. Iger says Disney is looking to create and license more original content internally. On ESPN to bring all of ESPN to the app experience has been to a strong success so far. That is amazing. Let's see. So he also mentions about the Disney parks as well, with the Disney Destiny launches, and the Disney Adventure launches in the spring. World of Frozen at Disneyland Paris will be opening in the spring as well. We also have, and basically there's just some Q&A as well. So what are your guys' thoughts on all this? Oops. There we go.
I mean, Disney hasn't recovered from Jimmy Kimmel. Let's be honest. They have not recovered from the Jimmy Kimmel fiasco in any way, shape, or form. Um, right now, I have a feeling that they're probably banking on their holiday movie lineup, starting with Predator, and then it's going to be that'll be followed up with Zootopia, and then Avatar. And so we'll have to see. I mean, one of the things that Disney Parks is literally what's keeping Disney on point right now, and I mean that's why they've committed $60 billion over the next 10 years to the parks. And so we'll have to see what happens, but they need to do something to show that they recognize the mistake they made with Jimmy Kimmel, to kind of get the investors, and then they need to solve this lockout with YouTube. And so we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, you can only put so much lipstick on a pig to make it look pretty, you know.
Yeah, exactly. How about you, Tony?
Honestly, to be very fair, I am in my opinion, I honestly feel very gutted about the price increase. Honestly, if Disney really wants to, if Disney really wants to capitalize on nostalgia and bringing and introducing the younger generation into the parks, my biggest recommendation to them would to actually do a price decrease, or either keep the tickets at a current increased price, but do really steep discounts. That means that instead of having expensive tickets, especially for the middle class working family, which is actually making up the majority of America, as of North America. So what I wish Disney would do is that Disney would lower its would do its really steep discounts or family bundles to insensitize families to come to Disney World. And yes, I am definitely aware of people who are like, the price increase is fine with me. Yeah, it is what it is. Disney's is going to do what it wants. Disney's a company. However, when it comes to that price increase, it is definitely tarnishing the magic, in my opinion. And let's be frank, people will become most people, the average North American who like works for years and years and years to save up for a ticket, only for the price to literally double or quadruple overnight, will become pretty jaded with the company. I know quite a few people personally who are like, I will not be going to that. Nope, I'm not going to Disney. I'd rather put on my hard-earned money that I have to work really hard for. They account for inflation, increased rent, increased grocery costs, and yes, I'm gone for miles about that. But going back to the price increase, I'd rather take my hard-earned money to a park where I actually feel that my dollar is worth my value, like Universal, Six Flags, or heck, even my local amusement park would do. So that is my honest opinion regarding the ticket prices. May I please elaborate on my opinion about the television and the media?
For sure. And my thoughts on this, um, it's actually it's kind of a mix, honestly. There has been some good things which I mentioned before, saying that Lilo and Stitch, we have seen so much improvement on merchandise, on probably character interactions as well. We've seen at Walt Disney World recently, this past June, that some rare characters from Lilo and Stitch has made an appearance for 626 Day, and how popular it was. And honestly, um, another kind of a bad thing too is the prices, the price increase, that, like we've talked previously on previous podcasts. Um, it it kind of is a mix of both in honest ways, um, in my personal opinion. And so um, I really do hope in the future of the Walt Disney Company that um, their movies are good at least. Hopefully, Zootopia 2 hopefully should deliver, because we have seen some very bad movies, like Wish, for example. In my opinion, it was great, but to some, it wasn't. Um, but anyone in the chat, what do you guys think? Let's see. Catching up here. We have Disney Crush fan. Welcome in. He says, "Hey, dude." Oh my gosh, Fast Pass Radio. Who's Jimmy Kimmel? Oh my gosh. Let's see. So let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? What are your current standings for this this earnings call? And let's hopefully spark up a conversation. Also, thank you, moderators, for dropping everybody's link. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see. So I think we should move on. So the next onto our next topic, we have seen incredible footage from the Disney Destiny, which is Disney's newest cruise ship. And I would love to hear everyone's reactions. If you guys have seen anything or from the Destiny that you would consider booking a trip or seeing yourself.
I want to book a trip on it. The ship is impressive, and you can tell Disney spent a lot of their money to make this their flagship for the moment, which I hear that the next one coming after Destiny is supposed to even be more insane. But the ship itself is an amusement park on water, which most Disney cruise lines are. But this one, they really just went for it. And you can't really fault them. And I mean, I haven't looked to see what the pricing is, in regards to, being able to get onto that particular ship. But the videos that have just come out are just it's an impressive vessel. It's a very impressive vessel.
What do you think, Tony?
I would absolutely would love to book a trip onto the Disney Test Destiny. What I've seen so far has blown me away, especially with the Lion King, especially with the Lion King themed cafe. And I absolutely love the idea that it's gonna be like a miniature version of Disney World, but for the water. And also, I am looking forward to seeing how the rooms will shape out and how they will accommodate large families of like 5+, especially given that the ship is really geared towards like the entire family. And I honestly hope that it's gonna be as immersive or even more immersive as the Disney Fantasies Haunted Mansion poem. And what I absolutely love about the ship, the idea of the ship is, even though there's no Tower of Terror, no Hollywood Tower Hotel, unfortunately. But fortunately, what's really throwing me is the idea of having a Haunted Mansion scavenger hunt.
Very nice. We also have, before we move on, we have a guest that's joined us. Please welcome Earth to Disney. Welcome in.
Hi, Earth to Disney.
Good to see you.
Hey, Earth to Disney. Nice to see
you. Hello.
So Earth to Disney.
I can't really hear.
Please feel free to who you are and where they can find you.
I can't really hear.
and what content is on the horizon.
Shit.
I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah. Hopefully he can find us, and hopefully he can open the chat up.
It's just a bad night for cameras. Let me tell you, it's just bad,
It is.
bad camera night.
It's also been a terrible night on YouTube where I was chatting away, and all of a sudden out of nowhere I couldn't chat anymore.
That's weird. All right, there we go. Earth to Disney.
We have sound.
Can you hear us
We have
now?
camera. Can you hear us?
Hello?
That's weird.
Hey, guys.
Let's see.
I can't really hear you guys.
Oh, it's okay. I would pretty much. We were just talking about the about where they can find you and what content is on the horizon for you.
I'm having like problems hearing you guys. I can't hear anything.
Okay. um. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. So first of all, as Earth to Disney is trying to figure out, we also have some new people join in. We have, let's see, Park Bros. Welcome in, Lawrence, also a part of the Disney Streamer Network. Good to see you, Lawrence. We also have Justin Ray Elgato. Yo, what is up?
Oh my god.
What is up, Justin Ray Elgato? Good to see
Hey
you.
Justin.
Let's see. So Justin says, APP, are you going to Disneyland on Sunday for Dapper Day? Unfortunately, we will not. We're going to Disneyland tomorrow. Hopefully to brave out the rain. That's supposedly coming.
Sunday, it's supposed to be
Anaheim
tailing
tomorrow.
off a little bit. The brunt of the storm is going to hit tomorrow night through Saturday. And then Sunday, it'll taper off. Then we'll get a little bit of a break, and then we'll get another storm. It's just, like I said, it's bad weather season in SoCal.
And we also got Mike Skellington. Welcome in. Good to see you. The right side, the tight side, don't you go nowhere. Good to see
Hi,
you,
Mike.
Mike. All right,
I can't
so
really hear you guys. We're having technical difficulties.
that's okay, Earth to Disney. What we'll do is I think I will pretty much introduce you. So we have Earth to Disney here. He is a fellow creator on Instagram, TikTok. He does have a YouTube, but he doesn't really post anything on it. He does all things from pop culture to everything in between. So please feel free, if mods, if you can drop his links in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. He's got a lot of things coming up as well, which is very exciting as well, especially in the new year as well. So let's see, where were we? So we were talking about the Disney Destiny. So what are your guys' thoughts on the Disney Destiny? I think we left off with you, Tony.
All right, so let me come back in. And honestly, when it came to the Disney Destiny, I am rather impressed by the atrium. Even though the atrium is not a place where many passengers tend to stay, I do find that the atrium plays a key role in setting the tone, and actually impress upon the guests of what they will expect from the remainder of the ship. So that is why I find it really impressive just how majestical and large the atrium is. And honestly, I am glad that Disney is going back to its roots and actually theming a full-on cruise ship rather than making it look generic. That is what I'm really thrilled about seeing, is that Disney is really going hard. It's really going hard on theming, and is actually playing up to people's desires of escapism, back as like what we saw in the 1960s at Disneyland.
Let's see. Hold on, guys. We got Earth to Disney one more time. Hey, Earth to Disney.
Wait, I still can't hear you. I still can't hear any of you.
Maybe try logging off and logging back in again.
Earth to Disney, you might have to reset your app. I know several people tonight that had to do that, where they've had to completely do a full blown reset on their YouTube app. So that might be a solution for you.
Exactly. Let's see. So my thoughts on the Destiny. I did see a few people's videos on it, and might I just really say that they did a really great job. They did a really great job with the whole concept and everything else on the ship. And like pretty much Tony said, it is an amusement park at sea. Um, so it is amazing. It is hopefully we can get on it. And it is we cannot wait. So let's see. So first, so let's move on and talk about Christmas at Disneyland. So
Heck yes!
first,
Woo!
yes, very exciting indeed. So starting tomorrow, we are going live, supposedly, at the Disneyland Resort. Hey, Earth to Disney once again. Can you hear us now?
All right, come here.
I can hear you.
Yeah, Earth to Disney, we can hear you and we can see you.
Oh, looks like he's refreshing the app again. So anyways, we are very looking forward to going to Disneyland tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins one of the most anticipated holiday celebrations happening at the Disneyland Resort, and that is the holidays at the Disneyland Resort. Now, before we go on any further, let me just mention that when it is the holidays at Disneyland, and I'm sure everyone here or Ninja watching agrees, but it is one of the best times to go because everywhere you look, there is something truly magical during this time of year, from the lights on Small World to the festive holiday celebrations in Disney California Adventure, and it is one of the most best times to visit as well. So tomorrow through January 7th, you can experience the holidays at the Disneyland Resort during the 70th celebration. And recently, they they released two foodie guides, which, by the way, we did do two separate videos covering all there is to know about the foodie guide, um, or the two different foodie guides, one for the Festival of Holidays at DCA, as well as for Disneyland Resort, the entirety. Um, but we are not going to go over the foodie guides right now because they are very long. Um, but we did cover some of the highlights. So my question to you guys is, what are your guys' thoughts on both foodie guides, and what do you want to try this year as far as food and beverages?
In regards to the foodie guide, um, there really isn't any. For one thing, it's expensive. I will say that I think they've finally gotten to the point where they've outpriced it. I mean, 6 pieces for $50. That's asking a lot. Considering that Din Tai is in the same area and you can get literally 18 to 20 pieces for $50. Your money might be well spent. That in regards to the portions are very, very small this year, smaller than they have in the years past. So I just don't know, you know, from a value standpoint, if the value is even there. Um, I'm sure there's stuff. I'm sure there's stuff that I'm very curious about, but I just don't know if spending $8 for literally a cupcake. I just don't. I just don't. I just for me personally, I just don't know if I could justify that value. And this is the first time I've ever said that. Usually, the sip and savor pass, I've always been very much a fan of, and I mean, you can make yourself a very good meal out, for two people with the sip and savor. But this year, I just don't see the value. So as great, so I think right now, I think this year they've selected to go mostly on hype than actual substance. That's my opinion.
How about you, Tony?
Honestly, given what you said, I do find that the portions are relatively tinier than what I've seen last year. I've also noticed that as I was looking at the prices and doing the price analysis, that literally a tiny little glass of White Russian is $19, which could buy you an entire meal at a competitor's restaurant or even at Universal. So given the price points, if there's no prices, no caps, I would definitely try the cranberry pomegranate drink, and I'd also try the tamale along with the mac and cheese that is pictured in the left hand corner. So that's so mostly for me. When it comes to trying food, I'm mostly chasing after flavor and taste profile. Honestly, but honestly, if Disney was to reduce the prices, I'd be a lot more let's do it, let's try everything. But because of the price point, I must be extra selective, and therefore, if I was to go to Disneyland hypothetically, I would only be able to try two items realistically. Which is why I spent a lot of time eyeing over the menu and having to be hypothetically extremely selective.
Yeah. And my honest thoughts on the food. Um, it is very expensive, like Puddles mentioned, but also it is some of the things aren't really new to me. Um, most of them have um, most of them have returned since last year and the previous years. So, I mean, I'm pretty much welcome to try anything almost, but um, to be honest, this foodie guide is mostly all on sweets. I honestly feel like it basically has like all things to your sweet tooth.
That's the other big thing is that in previous years, when Food and Wine, Festival of Holidays, Oogie Boogie Bash, I mean, you pick any of these events, part of the attraction was okay, you're going to go to food booth, you're going to go to this food booth. What are they going to have that's new, different, unique? This food booth, what are you going to have? They've gotten Disney has gotten stagnant in regards to making things fresh and exciting for us fans and us content creators. Um, because part of all our streams when we go to do streams is people want us to show them the food. Well, they don't want to see stuff that they've seen before. They want, we all want to be able to show them fresh things. And so when we can't show them fresh things, there's only so many ways we can make it sound appetizing and appealing. And then, you add on the price increase, it's hard, it makes it very, very hard to really enjoy everything there is about it. Like I said, I know I'm going to be taking my $50 and I'm going to go Din Tai Fung's, one of the Napolini, one of the other restaurants in downtown Disney. Heck, I may even go to Pim's. The best value in Disney for a long time has been Blue Bayou. If you can actually get in there. And the other good one is Rancho del Zocalo, which, for an amusement park, they do a pretty good Mexican dish at Rancho del Zocalo, I have to admit. But I mean, if you're going to go to Disney, you want to get good food, good service, and get your value. Blue Bayou is where it's at. And then if you want to feel expensive, then you can go do Carthay Circle. If you want to, if you really want to feel like you have money to spend. But like I said, 6 piece, the value for the sip and savor for this holiday season just is not there for me personally.
Mm. What do you think, Tony?
Honestly, to be fair, the price increase has unfortunately shaken my taste towards the Disney brand in general. I do miss the days where I could go into Disney World and I could comfortably bring $50, knowing that I could at least get one good buffet and one snack. Now I bring $50 and it's gone within a few bites. So that's something that's been like really shaking me about the Disney brand as a whole. Is to me as a customer from a customer's perspective, the entire price increase and the stagnation that you did mention, which I've noticed. And matter of fact, the number of food carts has decreased by two this year. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, please. But when I was like checking out all the food carts, all there's like virtually there two have the number has gone. The number of food carts has definitely decreased. And another thing as a consumer is why would I want to keep putting my loyalty and trust into a brand that is stagnant? Why do I want to keep putting my loyalty and trust into a brand that keeps bringing the same thing over and over again, but keeps hiking up the price year after year? And honestly, it feels like that my loyalty is being tested and used, which is the last thing I want as a consumer. It is like a grocery store saying, "Okay, buddy, we're going to sell the same apples year after year, but every year we're going to keep adding and increasing onto the price." And basically, people are coming back from nostalgia, which unfortunately, in my eyes, is not enough to keep a brand afloat, especially as the prices continue to increase. And yes, I do understand that companies got to factor in inflation, but
Hmm.
Yeah, but even with inflation in mind, just using it as like an excuse to triple or double the price, in my opinion, does not come across as a good light, especially if the company continues to blame inflation instead of actually taking accountability for reducing the portion size and upping the price. That is, shrinkflation is what gets to me the most as a customer for just about any brand, including my entertainment and including my food and including my food. That's my opinion.
Let's see. Let's see here. Catching up with the chat. Let's see. Justin Ray says, cannot wait to see the Christmas decorations at Disneyland on Sunday. Disney with Matthew says, I'm excited for Disneyland holidays. I am too. I'm sure everyone else is as well. Justin says, it sure is. I enjoy the gingerbread cookies. Oh my gosh. Those gingerbread cookies are amazing. Like, I mean, the first time I've tried them, like, they're really good. Um, let's see. Catching up with the chat here. I think that might be it. So another thing that Disney has announced, and that is that the Tangled edition to Storybook, as well as Casey Jr., will be reopening tomorrow as well. So, thoughts about that?
Monstro looks amazing with the paint job. Let me first say he has needed a paint job for quite some time. They're still the same rides. I mean, they added a little paint, a couple new plants, added Rapunzel's Tower. So I mean, Casey Jr. and Storybook boats are always some of the more underrated rides at the park. And Yeah, I mean, if you've never been on those rides, but if you've never been on those rides, they're definitely worthwhile to do, and there's a reason why they get long lines. But I mean, a much needed refurbishment to that area, and like I said, Monstro looks great. I can't. From what he was to where he is now, can have nothing but good things to say about that.
Honestly, I'm on the same page. I am hyped beyond belief to finally get to hear Casey Jr.'s around the track tune again. And I'm also just really happy that Disney is actually back into investing into the parks. And I'm also really happy that Disney is actually taking time and a really hard look at all the parks and asking themselves what needs to be fixed, what needs to be refurbished, and how can we ensure that our rides continue bringing good memories and being seen as in a good light by the public. And I'm glad that the parks are stepping it back up. And I'm also really happy just overall. And it's like a breath of fresh air seeing all the parks going on like this entire revival, in my opinion.
Yeah, and my thoughts about the reopening, it's pretty much, it's, what's it called? I'm glad it's, been giving an upgrade over the past few months, and I'm glad that Tangled is getting a representation inside the parks. And so, when we originally thought that it would be a ride like how Fantasy Springs is in Tokyo, um, it honestly really think that we are very looking forward to seeing it tomorrow. And so, yeah.
Definitely.
Let's Radio says, I like Storybook. Let's see. Matthew says, I already read that one. Who created it? I think there's like most of the Fantasyland rides, some of the Tomorrowland rides, train, Mark, Jungle Cruise, Castle Walk. I think that's
the only thing in
all of
Tomorrowland that's
your
still a Walt ride is Autopia. Submarine Subs is sorta still a Walt ride, although it was redone to Finding Nemo many years back. Same thing with Small World is still an original Walt ride. Obviously, regular Haunted Mansion is more or less mostly still a Walt ride. So, and then of course Pirates. Oh, and Matterhorn. I guess we could throw Matterhorn in there, even though Matterhorn has been tweaked quite a bit over the years.
Can I throw in a fun fact about Matterhorn? Do you know that when the, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you know that when the Imagineer Mark Davis was assigned by Walt Disney to create Matterhorn, it dawned on him that he had to learn trigonometry, especially when it came to the inclines and the declines to keep the actual coastal car with a very steady momentum. So basically, Mark Davis had to sit down with a math textbook and learn trigonometry that day.
Yeah, there's a lot of classic things about Matterhorn that, I wish Disney would bring back. Back in the day, they actually used to have an alpiner that would climb the mountain during the course of the day, which was really exciting. Many of us missed the sky ride that used to go through there, which was really cool. Also, for when we get sore feet, it was a nice easy way to go back from the front of the park to Fantasyland. So, but like I said, most of Matterhorn is still there. The basketball court is still in there. I don't know if they
No
use
way.
it, but it's still in there.
Yeah. Let's see. No worries, Lewis. Glad you can be here. Let's see. Fast Pass Radio says, "What's your favorite original Walt ride?"
Do you mind if I answer? So that's actually a really good question. And honestly, my absolute favorite rock ride is the 1964's New York World Fair. It's a small one after all. And just the thought of Walt Disney actually getting to sit down and ride that ride brings so much joy and happiness to my heart. And I mainly love the song and along with the smiling clock tower. So honestly, something about that little smiley clock tower that Roy Clump created based off of the Mary Blair's artistic style just really captivates my eyes like the Hollywood Tower Hotel in Disney World. So that's my favorite ride. What about yours?
Any of the Fantasyland rides, they're all so uniquely done and so creatively done. And I really wish that the current batch of Imagineers would take some of the ideas and concepts and the way the Walt did the rides and incorporate that into some of the newer rides. I mean, take nothing away from Indiana Jones, Rise of the Resistance, um, Ratatouille at Disney World, or even Avatar at Disney World. But but I mean, when you go ride Alice in Wonderland, and you have to go up and down and over, and when you find out why you're going up, down, and over, is because literally Mr. Toad is right under you. It's just that type of ingenuity, like Storybook Land and Casey Jr. I mean, literally, you're getting two rides for one area. I would love to see current Disney incorporate, maybe some of their current IPs into that type of a concept. I mean, we all love Rise of the Resistance. I mean, it's from a technological standpoint, it's a very impressive ride. But I would love to see them maybe with like an Encanto or Red or something. Just go back to the basics. The old no technology track ride, and just to go through these different universes or these different IPs on just a very take on like a little bit of a like take it back, roll it back. I the Disney right now, their focus is, they're trying to keep up with the Universal Studios of the world, with the Fast and Furious roller coaster and things like that. Sometimes, there's the old saying, less is more. And I would love to see them just you know do a ride building, and there's not, instead of giving us just one ride with all these special effects, give us a very basic Snow White, Peter Pan, Mr. Toad type ride where you're just going through these various different scenes. Um, or maybe if they want to make it exciting, do something like Transformers at Universal, where it's all screen based, but you're on a track. I mean, don't get me wrong, beauty, some of these trackless rides are wonderful. They're great. They're exciting. But the more, I worked with in computers for a long time, and I've long had a philosophy that the more fancy you make things, the more things that can break. And so I'm pretty sure we've all been at the park when, we're excited to go to Rise of the Resistance only to find out that it broke down. So,
Well said, Puddles. At least for my favorite Walt ride, I mean, no offense, I love Rise the Resistance. I love every ride at the Disneyland Resort, but I'm pretty much gonna go with what our channel originally uh, was from, and that is Pirates of the Caribbean. Walt Disney helped with the planning and, with the very first Disneyland Imagineer, um, way back on the 10th anniversary of Disneyland. And, every time we go on it, it's, always a classic, you know, nap time ride, honestly, um, to get some humor out there. But it, I think, at least for Walt himself, it would pretty much be at least my favorite ride that Walt Disney created. So, um, let's see. Let's catch up with the chat here. Oh, wow. Fast Pass Radio says my grandpa helped build the Matterhorn. Very nice. Um, let's see. Fast Pass Radio says, when you get to the park, what is your go-to must place to eat? Hmm. Um, so I guess I'll probably start first. So I would pretty much say that either the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree that just recently opened this past November, um, excuse me, or Galactic Grill in Tomorrowland. So what do you think, Tony?
Honestly, the first thing I
In Walt
the
Disney
first place
World.
I go to eat is actually in Hollywood Studios, and I forgot the name of the place, but it is located on Sunset Boulevard. So what I do is I go down Sunset, beeline down Sunset Boulevard, and I get myself a little bowl of French fries, grab myself some French fries, and I just sit down, plop down, and start eating my French fries one by one, so that I can look at the Hollywood Tower Hotel for 3 hours as I eat my French fries. So that's my go-to
Very
food in
nice,
the
Tony.
parks. Is that?
How about Puddles? Oh,
I mean, Alien Pizza Planet, you can never go wrong. I mean, the food, the thing with Alien Pizza Planet is you gotta hit it right because the food you can get food. Hungry Bear, I haven't had it. Oddly enough, I haven't tried it since they went to barbecue. Although I've heard nothing but good things. They still have the most amazing French fries on the Disneyland side. Um, so we can't really fault them for that. I mean, there's a lot of good places to eat in Disney, just depending on what you're feeling. Like I said earlier, Rancho del Zocalo. If you're craving Mexican food, Rancho del Zocalo. You know, excuse me one second. Rancho del Zocalo is a very good bang for the buck. If you're craving Mexican food, um, um, Cafe Orleans, if is actually pretty good as well. Um, Galactic Grill, if you want a burger, Galactic Grill is if I'm thinking burger, Galactic Grill is always going to be at the top of my list. To go to, even more so than Hungry Bear. Nothing against Hungry Bear, but it's just so far in the park. You want to get lazy. On the DCA side, I mean, award winners will always give you a tremendous amount of food, and it's usually pretty good, and sometimes on the very, very interesting side. Pim's Test Kitchen, very good. Just depending on what you're feeling. The most underrated place in DCA is there's a little red truck in the Hollywood land. Can't think of the name of it at the moment, but they used to have the most amazing street tacos. I don't think they're currently serving street tacos now, but that used to be one of my go-to spots. So yeah, so like I said, it's just there's always good food to eat. I have tried the viral sensation of the cheesy bread with the Bengal barbecue meat sticks. It is worth all the hype if you don't mind the walking. So it is also incredibly messy, but if you don't mind the walk and if you can find a place to sit, yeah, the cheesy garlic bread from the little stall across from Matterhorn, and then a little Bengal barbecue meat stick. It'll hit the spot for you.
nice.
That sounds
Let's
amazing.
see. What was that, Tony?
I almost forgot to mention that if you happen to be in Disneyland, I have a friend who recommends just the cheeseburger spring rolls with extra cheese dipping sauce.
Yes, Tony is absolutely
Good to
right.
know. Let's see. We have Fade to Black. Welcome in. Good to see you, old friend. Um, let's see. Fast Pass Radio, another Q&A for us, it looks like. In your opinion, what is the most overrated attraction at Disneyland?
The parades. I'll straight out say it. Um, you if you follow, as a content creator, part of our job is to follow what happens at all the other parks for Disney. So therefore, when we talk to our audiences, we're able to share some of the things that we find. We are the only Disney park that has not gotten a fresh parade in several years. So take nothing away. I mean, paint the night, amazing parade, love the parade.
Okay.
We're going on what, year 10 of Christmas Fantasy Parade. I mean, I would love to hear at some point down the line Disney saying, "Hey, Christmas Fantasy Parade's coming up. Oh, by the way, we're updating it for, I mean, it would have been nice to have them say, we're updating the Christmas Fantasy Parade for Disney's 70th. I think they're missing a golden opportunity there. Instead, we're getting the same old parade. So I think a lot of people go to Disney World, they see all these amazing, great new parades, and we're running we're running same parades that we've run for several years. So I think it's time for Disneyland to get a fresh parade.
Well, in 2020, we did have a new parade for the 65th that never happened. We had a parade called Magic Happens, and I remember it's one of the most amazing parades I have ever pretty much seen because it it pretty much was like new. It had a lot of energy in it. Um, and unfortunately, because of the situation 5 years ago, the pandemic, uh, cut it short a few weeks behind, a few weeks. Um, it pretty much never came back until I believe 2 years ago for the 100th of the Disney company, and we have not seen it ever since last year. So I'm hoping that 2027 might be the return of that parade, because it was just so good. Um, so let's move on towards the
Wait.
podcast here. We have.
Wait. I didn't get to go. Yeah, do you mind if I go? Okay. Alright, so honestly, when it comes to the most overrated attractions, I personally find that Slinky Dog Dash is the most overrated attraction due to the wait times and ride capacity. The reason I say that is I have seen numerous streamers stand in line for Slinky Dog for upwards to an hour and a half, 90 minutes of having to stand in the hot, sweaty line, especially during the July heat in Florida. However, what happens? What happens is the worst thing is that Slinky Dog does not have a single rider line, which actually gums up the line even more, and makes the line rather inefficient for such a popular attraction with a low volume ride car. Unfortunately, Slinky Dog's track can only hold 2 Slinkies at a time, and each ride car, if I'm correct, has 12 seats, so only 24 guests can go at a time, which makes for long, dreadful wait times for an attraction that lasts a minute and a half. So, unfortunately, in my opinion, Slinky Dog is the most overrated attraction, unless it can address the line capacity, unless it can address the capacity issue, or include a single rider line. That's my honest opinion about the most overrated attraction.
Very
Thank
nice,
you.
Tony. Let's see. We have Main Street Paul. Welcome in. He says, I have a question about tomorrow's Christmas event at Disneyland. Since it will be raining, will they have a Christmas cavalcade, and how many people will still show up? Now, according to at least the AccuWeather app, let me just say that I'm predicting that it will rain most of the morning tomorrow. It is just my hope that tomorrow morning we should see most of the rain. And I'm hoping that by 3 o'clock, when the first parade happens, hopefully it should be like drizzling rain, like very droplets of rain. But very good question. What do you think, Tony?
Honestly, tomorrow, to be very honest, I don't have a really good gut feeling. So basically, so based off my Disney World experiences, and especially how quickly Disney World canceled that parade due to rain a few weeks ago, I honestly feel that there may not be much of a fighting chance if it starts raining, if it starts downpouring in Disneyland due to like parade safety, performance safety, and it's surprisingly dangerous to perform on wet cement from what I've heard. So to be very honest, I just don't have a really good feeling about that parade happening. But hopefully, knock on wood, that parade actually does happen. Because if you're able to see a Disneyland parade, especially painted night, you definitely, if you can see a parade, especially like painted night, it is absolutely grandeur to see in person, and there's something so special about being there for the parade. I really hope that you can actually experience and enjoy the Christmas parade tomorrow.
Absolutely. But I mean, you never know. It supposedly mentions that this weekend, the tomorrow and Saturday, we will be seeing the most heaviest of rains. Like expect up to like 6 or 7 inches of rain. Um, so if you guys are still coming to the parks this weekend, be prepared with your umbrellas, your ponchos, because I mean, you never know what you're going to be expecting, if you will. So let us move on to our last topic of the night, continuing with Disneyland. We have seen an unexpected closure of a popular restaurant in downtown Disney. Last weekend, we have seen reports saying that, excuse me, that Earl of Sandwich, located next to World of Disney and the tram loading unloading, has closed to make way for Porto's Bakery. And this is actually a post from Scott Gustin once again. And this is closed. This location, as well as the tavern, as well. Now, this pop up near the Star Wars trading post is still open and will remain open. And this was a concept art created from Disney, I think a few years ago, from D23. And this is going to be the brand new Portos that will be taking the current spot of Earl of Sandwich's spot. So, what does everyone think? Starting with you, Tony.
All right, so I'm on the hot seat right now, and honestly, To be very honest, I'm a tad disappointed because because when I spoke to multiple people who I know, they all say that they all told me that all the sandwich was a budget-friendly place to go to grab a bite before going into the parks, and now it just feels like a money grab that they're replacing the old sandwich with something a little pricier, and therefore people will not have access to old sandwich unless they go inside a Disney park, which is rather disappointing. So that is not so in my opinion that is not an example of how of like that's another example of business moves that are being done that might erode trust in the average consumers like me. So that's my take.
My honest thoughts is, I mean, for the unexpected closure of this restaurant, it has been first and foremost, we have not been inside an Earl of Sandwich, and so I'm actually very glad that the pop-up location is still open because the other restaurant of Earl of or not, Earl of Sandwich will be part of like a second level structure in downtown Disney, along with a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. So, but I mean, it's really sad that that like building is being closed. But very looking forward to Portos. I've been hearing lots of good reviews on Portos. And I think we do have a Portos bakery in our area. If correct me if I'm wrong.
No, we
But,
do. It's Buena Park.
What was that, Puddles?
The Portos we have is in Buena Park. So
That's it.
Also, first time I actually did Portos, order it bacon home. It's not quite as good as getting it at the restaurant, but it's pretty close. It's pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. They really figured out how to. Well, maybe they did or maybe they didn't. I don't know, but it was still pretty good to have it at home. But yeah, but we do have one. If you want to go visit the actual Portos, it's in Buena Park near Knott's Berry Farm.
Good to know, Puddles. What are your thoughts on the closure on Porto or Earl of Sandwich?
I mean, they're closed, but they're not closed. I mean, they moved all the way over by the old ESPN building, over by Trading Post, the Star Wars Trading Post. I mean, there. Earl of Sandwich is not a bad sandwich. I'm more personal to Board and Brew myself. If you have a Board and Brew nearby where you are, definitely an amazing, awesome sandwich. Downtown Disney has some really good, strong restaurants coming. You have Portos, you have Arthur and Son Steakhouse, you have I can't believe his name just left me. Carthaberry by goodness gracious, why can't I think of the guy's name? Complete.
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, thank you. You have Gordon Ramsay, Cathaberry coming. As of which, they're going to be serving his signature beef Wellington. There's some really good restaurants that are going to be coming. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how fast Portos comes, considering that with Arthur and Sons, they basically, leveled Tortilla Joe's in rapid fashion. and that was kind of about it. so so we'll have to see, how fast Portos gets built. But I mean, a lot of the questions that a lot of us had in regards to, well, is it just going to go in the Earl of Sandwich footprint? Because if you've ever been to Portos, that's a tiny itty bitty footprint for a Portos. 2 stories or 20 stories, it's still very done. Now that the fact that they've took away ticket booths 7 and 8, and they're going to go all the way out that way, that Portos is going to be insane. I'm curious to see what they worked out for in regards to staffing, because Portos is very employee friendly. And so it'll be very, very interesting to see, when it comes to the major holidays and stuff like that, what arrangement did they work out with Disney, to get that space. So, but I think once it opens, honestly, you're probably looking 2-3 hours wait time. I mean, we better all pray if they have mobile order. Otherwise, we're never going to get into the parks.
Exactly. All right, time for Q&A. We're going to do a quick Q&A session, because it is getting late. Tomorrow is a very big day for all of us here on this channel. So let's see. Catching up with
rain, I just went outside to take care of the puppy, and the rain is here. The rain is here. So it'll be interesting to see how it progresses over the course of the evening.
Sounds good, Puddles. So FastPass mentions, besides your local parks, what Disney park do you really want to visit the most? So Puddles, will start off with you.
It's going to be a tie between Disney Tokyo, Shanghai, and Disney Paris. Disney Paris has some absolutely insane expansion going on right now, and their Avengers campus makes ours look terrible. One of the biggest examples is that they actually, and I'm hoping, the rumors that we've been seeing are true, that we're actually getting a drone show here in California, but they actually do a nighttime drone show at their Avengers campus, right next to their Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and it is by far one of the most impressive night shows I've ever seen Disney put on. If you've never been to Disney Sea in Tokyo, it's one of the most unique parks over there. And I mean, there are a lot of things at the Tokyo Disney theme park that I wish we could get a sniff of over here in the States. Whether it be a Disney World or even, or preferably Disneyland. Their Pirates of the Caribbean ride has been updated with current technology, and so it's just for an example, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride is very Rise of the Resistance-esque, versus ours. Take nothing away from ours, ours will forever always be the original and the classic. But I mean, excuse me. But if you've never seen the one down at Tokyo Disney, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely. I mean, if they were to bring that here in the States in either one of our parks, the lines for that would be very Rise of the Resistance, very type. It's absolutely nuts.
Very nice. How about you, Tony?
Honestly, if I was to visit an international park, I would go to Disneyland Paris and go to Adventureland, beeline right to Adventureland. That's where I could relive the Disneyland California Tower of Terror in its full glory, and just get to sit down and admire the Hollywood, the Disneyland California inspired Hollywood Tower Hotel. Literally for the entire duration of my trip, that what I'd be doing is just sitting there and just looking at that thing.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So for me, I would pretty much either go to either Disneyland Paris or Tokyo Disneyland because um like Tokyo has the best animatronics, the best food, the best everything. Um and I mean it's kind of the castle is kind of similar to uh, the one at Walt Disney World's, but it's a little different in its own way. Um, but yeah, like Disneyland Paris, as Puddles was saying, they are expanding quick with their second theme park, and um, and you can also stream there as
And
well.
Disney Paris has a
So
dragon.
hopefully we can, yes, and that too. Um, what does everyone else in the chat think? What other theme parks do you guys want to visit? Let's see. Disney with Matthew says Shanghai Disneyland. Very nice. Let's see. Oh, and guess who shows up? We got Mystic
Hey, Mr.
Parks.
Potts.
It's Eric Smart in the chat. Welcome in, Mystic Parks. Good to see you. And thanks for staying up late as well. It's already 12:30 on your end. So hopefully you are doing well, Eric. Let's see. Very nice Fast Pass Radio. He'll be there next year. Very nice. Let's see. So I think oh wait. Fast Pass Radio says the castle is nothing like Magic Kingdom's. Paris is way cooler. I speak from experience. Yeah, the castle in Paris is something else. I honestly think. The dragon under the castle and, the Mary Blair bushes. Amazing.
Definitely.
Let's see. Disney with Matthew says he would be at Disneyland.
Lucky.
I think we just lost Puddles.
Yeah,
Alrighty,
I just
guys.
realized that the micro. I just realized that my feed was glitching. So I'm just guessing that the feed might have cut out. But sorry, what were you saying? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Tony.
All right. So I think what happened is that the feed did cut out, and I realized that from my end it's kind of lagging. But fortunately, it looks like it's cleared up for me.
That's weird.
It's possible, but I believe that I honestly speculate that it's the rain because they're both in California.
Yeah. Let's see. So Fast Pass Radio says what made you guys want to get into streaming? Tell us about yourself. So Tony, since you are our guest, or actually Puddles.
Am I back?
Yes.
Am I here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened. My internet just all of a sudden crapped out.
I think it's the rain.
Might be. Yeah, I am in an older neighborhood, so it's possible. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty decent. So yeah, I think I might need to wrap this up here. So anyway, what was the question?
So this might be the last question because we need to get going here. And this is from Fast Pass Radio. What made you guys want to get into streaming? A little story time.
I actually used to help another streamer shortly after the pandemic, and essentially built a reputation with that particular streamer. And long story short, eventually decided to leave that streamer and go. And once I left, I had people reaching out to me asking what happened, and I just and without getting too, and not really wanting to say too much, I just said, just decided to move on. Well, anyway, I had enough requests to where people just said, "Hey, you should start streaming." And for a while, I just decided I wasn't really going to do it, until finally I just woke up one morning. I just said, "Hey, you know what? Let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens." And yeah, and then pretty much once I did that, started getting to know the community a lot better. They actually all knew about me, and yeah, and then once they found out that I was doing my own thing, the community embraced me, and I embraced them back, and here we are. 10,000 or 12,000, or I don't know, some amount of subscribers later, here we are.
Very nice, Puddles. How about you, Tony?
Honestly, that's a really good question. So to make a long story short, I initially was bored out of my mind. So I was going through Tumblr just to see if anybody else shared the same love and passion towards the Hollywood Tower Hotel's architecture and geometrical shapes. Of course, I was on Tumblr, and I couldn't find anybody else but a very ancient account that has not posted since 2024. And of course, knowing me, I said, "No, I'm just going to create my own account about the Hollywood Tower Hotel." So for quite some time, I was sitting around. I spent most of my time on Tumblr, and basically, and unfortunately, it was tumbleweeds. Couldn't get response, couldn't get comments, couldn't get engagement. So I'm like, "No, let's try YouTube." So after YouTube, I went, and that's where I stumbled across the Pete McDavid show, and that's why I stumbled across Pete McDavid show, which led me to Zippity Doo Doug, and as I kept clicking on random profiles and usernames, that's how I started seeing more and more Disney streams by the day, and I'm like, whoa, wait, hold up, there's an entire community that can stream Hollywood studios at any given moment. So you know what? Let's just follow all of them, and let's get this party started. So after I started following YouTubers, I'm like, all right, I gotta branch out to the Instagram. This way I can just start building my Instagram profile and actually bring in and sharing my artwork and just like seeing if I can gush to any Instagram Telltale fans. Unfortunately, same result as Tumblr. Just a bunch of tumbleweed, and I could not find any Telltale fans for the longest time. So plop, I go back to YouTube. I just start chatting in the chats, which I didn't discover that each content creator has their own Instagram account. So I'm like follow, and I eventually can get go and I eventually get going on Instagram. My main intention was to have my Instagram and my Tumblr be the exact same content, and just be the exact same content, but little did I realize that I would be able to find an entire streaming community that is actually accepting my speech disability and my autism, which really stood out from the previous online communities that I was involved in. And also another thing is, the thing that I really appreciate about this community and streaming in this community is, yes, I do have a speech disability, so sometimes I can be a little stuttered, my voice can be obnoxious, and sometimes I can come across as a very boring person. However, however, the having the however, the visuals of the theme park and the visuals of being able to do live art requests really does complement my speech disability. So long story short, this is how I this is how I got into streaming.
Very nice, Tony.
Thank you.
Now, as far as our channel goes, when we lost my train of thought here, but we have been influenced by many people to go ahead and start this channel. People like many popular vloggers like Provost Park Pass, Justin Scard, Adam the Woo, Tim Tracker. There's so many vloggers out there. And my first introduction to streaming actually came from a few streamers that were streaming inside Disneyland in California. And I was thinking in bed, kind of thinking, wouldn't it be cool for me and a friend to create this channel? At first, we didn't know, this was when this was before we decided on deciding this name of Amusement Park Pirates. And so we have, dug up some ideas of names, what we can do as content creators, what content we should do. And so we finally figured out what we want to do. And so we decided on doing Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, and Universal Studios Hollywood. And so then we decided on the name, which I don't really know offhand of our options, but we pretty much gave our name from the Pirates of the Caribbean attractions all over the world, as well as, our brand, which is amusement parks. But our past has, been some ups and downs recently, and don't want to give in much detail, but it has been a really fun journey. It has been a very emotional and wild experience for us creators. And as a new creator ourselves, we push ourselves each day to bring you guys the latest on everything, everything going on inside the parks. And so, also recently, thanks to Lawrence, he has opened up many doors on our channel, the Disney Streamer Network. And so that door has opened for us. Because not just like, if we didn't find the Disney Streamer Network, how would you come across 26 different streamers streaming multiple times on one screen, streaming not just at Disneyland, but at Disney World as well? And so it gave us many opportunities to, play around with our streams, give, these creators give their knowledge to us new creators so that we may pass on, you know, the same knowledge as they did. And so I really, really would like to shout out Lawrence from the Park Bros for doing an amazing job, which I don't know if Lawrence is still in here, but he has done amazing things with his partner Pyle's Adventures, and I really would like to thank him for giving us this opportunity. And also, and we wouldn't also have found these incredible moderators and all these wonderful, amazing people to all that we have met over the past few months. It has been really a joy and a roller coaster of amazingly fun moments, and I really appreciate all of you guys and this community as well. So,
little experience that I can share with you is the Disney vlogging community overall is a very good community. And if you take care of the community will take care of you. So make sure that if you come across some of the other vloggers in the park, show them the love and the respect, and they're a very, very embracing community. And they will, for those of us that are here and those of us who are possibly thinking about doing this in the future, embrace the community, and the community will embrace you. We all do this for one reason, and that's because we love Disney. Whether as much as it annoys us with the pricing or the food or the crowds or the lines, or you can pick whatever you want, we still love Disney. We can sit there and we can gripe about all of that, but the instant we see Mickey Mouse, shaking hands with someone, or shaking with, or you walk into Galaxy's Edge and you get ambushed by Chewbacca and get a Chewie hug, or even just going to Pooh's Corner and eating a candy apple. We do this because we love it. And like I said, it's a very get to learn and get to know who the community is, because it is an absolutely the Disney vlogging community is an absolutely amazing community, and we should all feel very, very proud and privileged that we get to be a part of that. And then if you guys are able to get embraced by the community, it's something that you'll never forget, and it's something you will never look back on.
well put, Puddles.
I could not agree, Mom. Honestly, when it comes to this community, I have never felt as loved as I have felt online until I met this community. And even I've been in numerous online communities, this community actually does feel like home. And this community is finally a place where I can feel that I belong, and I'm actually comfortable puppeteering this little paper building, which I would not have in a million years dreamed of doing in any other online community, which is absolutely why I resonate with what you say, Puddles.
Yes, and to comment as well, this goes for all of us. Fast Pass Radio says, like I always say, if you see me in the park, say hi. I have stickers. Yeah, I mean, we have lots and lots of stickers. If you guys ever come to Disneyland, or if we come see you in you guys, wherever you're from, we do have stickers. We do, feel free to stop us at any time. You do not need to be shy. Um, our streams can wait when people are talking to us.
I actually gave away
you know,
fans during the summer. It was the most insane thing I've ever given away. Just random people walking up, and I gave them a fan. It was nuts.
wow.
I also
Um,
Yeah, I also got to say, that I absolutely appreciate the patience that this. I absolutely appreciate that the patience of this community, and that this community is actually willing to take time to try to understand what I'm trying to say, rather than jump to conclusions. And I also deeply appreciate this community, as people who are, especially when I'm in the, especially the very rare times that I'm in the parks, which is an absolutely huge privilege and treat for me. I'm very rarely in the parks, maybe twice a year if I am lucky, and sometimes every other year. And whenever I'm in the parks and I see a streamer, it actually warms my heart that a streamer will stop the stream, take even like a minute to 5 minutes to talk to me, and to get and I can and for me to and give me the space to introduce myself and to get to know them slightly better. Because whenever you make these connections with your audience, especially as a streamer and especially as an audience member, you actually get yourself you actually get yourself people who really will enjoy your channel for life and will always have that fond memory associated with you. So that's from my personal experience.
exactly. Big Tony.
Thank you.
Fade to Black says the Disney vloggers are impressively knowledgeable about the parks, from food to the Imagineers, rides. The show is very cool. Exactly. Fade to Black.
And let me be clear, there are some bad Disney vloggers out there. And so just you can tell who they are, because they're the ones who, when you're on the ride, they'll be talking while you're on the ride, or when you're sitting there watching while you're in the pre-show for Runaway Railway, they'll be the one talking over the cartoon. Not all of us are angels, so to speak. Most of us are, but just mind for those of you who are just starting, just mind your P's and Q's, be respectful, and as the old saying goes, scratch my back and I'll scratch your back.
Exactly.
And the biggest thing, karma is a big female dog B word.
Exactly, yep. That is. Patrick Julian says, ATP, I'm delighted to say that I have Disneyland on my bucket list thanks to you. That's very sweet, Patrick. Very sweet indeed. All right. Well, I think we should probably wrap things up here on the podcast. So let's go ahead and one more time, thank you to everyone for joining us. Thank you to Tony and Puddles for joining us.
Thank you for hosting Amusement Park.
Thank you so much. So once again, feel free to would you mind telling our viewers where they can find you and where you will be now live next?
Tony, you want to go first?
Yes, please, and thank you. So I want to thank everybody from the bottom of your heart for being here tonight. And if you enjoyed Tower of Terror trivia and Tower of Terror fun facts, be sure to check me out on YouTube, where I post all my long format videos about the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And my next upcoming video, aka project, is going to be about what happens when the Tower of Terror breaks down, and what happens if the ride suddenly malfunctions during the drop sequence. That video will be posted. That video will be exclusively posted on my YouTube channel called Tonyo Tower. And if you wish to catch me live and chat more about the Hollywood Tower Hotel and its history, be sure to tune in. Be sure to tune in for weekly live art requests where I will also be taking your art request. I know that's a lot taken, but sometimes I can be a lot.
Very nice, Tony. Puddles, how about you?
So I can be found at Puddles at the Theme Park on YouTube and on Instagram. My Instagram feed, I will post pretty much anything random. So sometimes related to theme parks and sometimes just random stuff that I find that's just kind of fun. In regards to the next time I will be live, that all depends on Mother Nature. And so we'll see how that goes. I do have a special event planned for is it next Saturday? I do have a special event planned for next Saturday that I don't know if I'll be able to go live or not. So we will. So that will be. So assuming we get our 10 days of rain, like the experts are predicting, that will be my next. That will be my next stream. It'll be in the evening. It'll be a special holiday stream. And I'll kind of leave the detail. Even if I can't stream it, hopefully we can vlog it. So we'll see. It's a completely new experience. So first time it'll be done here, but I'm really excited about that. And then, like I said, if the weather lets up and I can get to the parks, for all of us, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you have your post notifications turned on so you know when we go live. And then if we have, there's other ways, seeing as YouTube is kind of forgetful in regards to sending out notifications. I can be found on Discord, Puddles at the Theme Park, and I'm sure Amusement Park Pirates. I know he has Instagram, and Tony. I hope you have other ways, so therefore we can always get the notification out. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. But yeah, I think a lot of us are going to be at the whim of Mother Nature for the next week and a half. So we'll see how it goes.
And yes, I do have Instagram, which is Tony Hotel. So that's really get to know Puddles about either making a post or a story about when you will go live, just because of how forgetful YouTube can be.
Very nice. And you can follow us here on the tubes at Amusement Park Pirates. You can also follow us also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as our TikTok. You can find us tomorrow as we hopefully brace the rain. We will send updates in case if our streams do get canceled due to weather, but we will see. Just want to give a shout out to our amazing affiliates and sponsors. So first we have our friends at the Magical Coffee Company, where you can get 10% off your first order, where there is magic in every sip. They are a brand new company, so if you want to check them out, great for the holiday season, the cooler weather. You can check them out. We also have our friends at the ends, Nick and Shannon from Nick and Shannon Ear to Their Travel, where you can scan this QR code right here to book your next magical holiday vacation. It supports the channel, and it also helps Nick out with his booking duties for the holiday season. And we've already mentioned them, but we're going to be doing it once again. We have the Disney Streamer Network. Lawrence, a great person, has mentioned or has created this amazing network where you can view 26 Disney streamers all in one place, one website. More updates coming soon. So you can follow our friends from at the Disney Streamer Network. So once again, thank you to everyone for joining us tonight on episode 17. 17 episodes. Wow. Of our podcast stream. Big thanks to our special guests once again for joining us, and to our amazing moderators. Thank you so much for keeping the chats clean, engaging, and positive for everyone who enters the chat. Also, that's pretty much it. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the parks real soon.
Thank
Good
you
night,
for
everybody.
listening. Good night. Bye bye.
I saw a mouse with a wizard hat, spinning dreams like acrobats. Castle high, fireworks ignite, a world of wonder every night. Sugar rush from cotton clouds, laughter echoing out loud. Disneyland, where the magic stands, spinning teacups and marching bands. Take my hand, let's never land. Theme park dreams, let's make our plans. Roller coasters, wooden